Oh boy, he's in here. Russell
Hi,
Peters.
kids.
How are you?
Good, you?
I mean,
I may or may not be a few drinks in.
Okay, that's fine. Where are you calling from? Where are you going through all this right now? Are you in Cali?
Crib, right by my hip hop goodness.
You carry the hip hop goodness with you everywhere. I assumed that wasn't located in one spot. It's like in the heart.
Steve knows where I'm at. Wonder.
Steve, shout out to Steve Wonder. Steve Wonder on the connect on this. How are you doing though? Like, how I saw you posted a very angry rant the other night.
Oh yeah, you know why, right? Dude? Oh, yeah. Skills is in here. I'll tell you why. I was playing. It was Saturday night. I was playing music. I was having a great fucking time. I never play live because I don't like to.
Yeah.
And I was having a great time. We're playing a great vibe. Everybody's having a nice time. And we have 2 dogs in the house, and they're both female.
Okay.
And the dogs came in the room, and whoever was in the room picked up the dogs and put them on the table. And I said, oh, shit, 2 bitches just walked in. And as soon as I said it, a fucking notice came up on my screen from Instagram saying, you have violated Instagram's blah, blah, blah. Your live will not be saved. And I was like, what? And then it just ended it like maybe about 20 minutes, 15 minutes later. And
so it had nothing to do with copyrighted music. It was them. It was.
I don't know what it had to do with because I was kind of drunk.
Okay.
But I was pissed. And I was mad because they've been doing it to DJs now over and over, and they keep claiming copyright infringement, but they don't do it to certain DJs, which shows me that it's not what it is.
Right. They're picking and choosing who they're enforcing this with.
Yes, and it's fucking irritating because it's some bullshit. And when you tell me it's copyright infringement, I'm like, actually, you're infringing on the artist because the artists that we play, we're not playing radio music. We're playing shit that they would never really hear. And then people will be like, yo, I want that song. Then they Shazam it. Then they go buy the song. So you're actually costing artists money at that point. Who
would have thought that the music industry is slow to adapt and get with actual practices that would help the artists and everybody else?
Listen, look, I'm in the comedy business, so I know enough about the music industry to know that it's a shady piece of shit, and I feel bad for all my friends in the music industry.
You know enough to know that you picked the better industry to get into, I would say.
Yeah.
And you've sort of been able to walk both worlds. Matt Skills says that he's never been shut down and he does the shrug. Skills.
Because you know why? He only plays Nod Factor.
That probably is why.
He plays Nod Factor and the wrap-up from like 2000 to 2019.
Skills owns the wrap-ups. Yeah, no, he owns whole years. Adam says they've been harassing D-Nice and Questlove. Yeah, I know some of the bigger dogs have sort of been getting kind of, clapped at. But, I think we're all going to be moving to greener pastures soon. I don't know if are you up on the Twitch? Like,
I just signed on with Twitch.
Yeah.
But I haven't like gone live on it or anything yet. But I listen, we all know that that's the next step.
Yeah. Yeah.
Basically, Instagram is now becoming MySpace.
Right. What an era. What a time. And I loved MySpace, but we had to leave it behind. Yeah. All right. So Russell, we're really happy to have you. Thank you for agreeing to do this. For those who don't know, I think most of the people in this room probably would know, but like you are more well known as a comedian and actor, but you started as a DJ. Like the hip hop bona fides run far deeper than even the comedy world. So
True.
We're thrilled to have you. We love music, and I sometimes think that I'm funny. So you are an absolute amalgamation of everything that we try to strive for.
But you'll notice most DJs are really sharp and very funny.
Yeah, that's true.
I've never met like a dumb DJ where you're like, what an idiot. You're like, no, they got a very sharp sense of humor, most DJs.
No, yeah, most do. Yeah, so we're going to get right into it. Our first round is called The Choice Is Yours. This is multiple choice, general trivia. We're going to get right into it. Here's the first question, Russell Peters. All right. This Nas song premiered on the soundtrack to the film Zebrahead 2 years prior to reappearing on his debut album Illmatic. Was it A, New York State of Mind, B, Halftime, C, One Love, or D, It Ain't Hard to Tell?
Halftime.
He says halftime confidently, and guess what? He's absolutely right. The answer was Halftime.
I had the promo of it.
You have the promo of it?
I had the promo of it. I had like 5 of them. They just kept sending it out.
So when did you start DJing?
85.
85. So far before Zebrahead.
Oh yeah.
And where you're from Canada, correct?
I'm
That's
from
where
Toronto.
Toronto. So I mean, but we'll get more into it. But I mean, like, was it difficult to get a lot of these records and things? Like, this is pre-internet. This is like a different time. Toronto was certainly not at the height of where it is now in terms of like as a hip hop hotspot. So what was it like coming up and sort of being like a DJ in Toronto?
Well, the thing is, in Toronto, we're from New York State. We're attached to New York State over there.
Yeah.
So you could go to Buffalo and get the latest records if you wanted to go to Record Theater on Main Street in downtown Buffalo. But if you felt like doing an 8-hour drive, you can go to New York City. And also there's a lot of West Indians in Toronto, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, Guyanese, Bajans, and they all had relatives in Brooklyn and Queens and all that. So they would record the radio. They would record either Mr. Magic or Red Alert or Chuck Chill Out, and we would get these cassettes sent to us. And also, we had our own little underground scene going on in Toronto. There was a guy named Ron Nelson who had a college radio show that started in 1984 called the Fantastic Voyage Program, who always played the newest shit.
So he was the source. He was like
our source.
Amazing. All right, we're going to get into our second one. Hey, if you guys have questions for Russell, drop them in that little question box. If we have some time at the end, we'll get into it. All right, second question. Singer Harry Belafonte also served as a producer on this seminal hip-hop film from the 80s.
Beat Street.
He says Beat Street. He knows it. He's confident. He's diving right in. And he is correct. What do you think is the best hip-hop movie? A lot of these like are great time capsules. They're not necessarily things that I enjoy watching presently, but what are the ones that still sort of resonate for you?
For me, I could still watch Wild Style any time of the day.
Yeah.
And Style Wars.
Yeah.
And Beat Street.
Yeah. All right. Well then, yeah, you're proving the hip hop cred. You're still into watching the movies. It's still on deck. All right. We're gonna move on to the third question in this round, Russell. Third question. This rapper contributed songs to Abel Ferrara's film King of New York. Was it Ice-T, Chuck D, Schoolie D, or MC Shan?
To me, it's down between Schoolie D and Chuck D. Because the movie came out like 91, 90. So I'm going to go with Chuck D. He's
going Chuck D. The answer is actually Schoolie D.
Wow. I knew it was one of the D's.
You were onto it. You had, you were in the ballpark.
I had the letter right.
Yes, but not the answer, actual letter.
Correct.
Rappers, hip hop, the sort of culmination with the music and TV and film and stuff. A lot of people don't know this. You were involved in Hip Hop Evolution. You're a producer on that show.
I'm the executive producer of that show.
You're the executive producer of that show. So I don't know a lot about the genesis of the idea for that show, but like, was that something that you hopped on early, or was it like literally one of your ideas?
No, it was a buddy of mine named Darby.
Yeah.
He's like a white guy from Canada who loves hip hop as much as I do. And he's actually a very Canadian, very white guy. And but he loves hip hop the same way I do. And he came to me, I was like, hey, I really want to do a documentary on hip hop. And I said, I'll do it if we really get into it the right way. And he said, yeah, I only want it done the right way. And I really want to go back. And I'm like, I'm in.
Yeah. And so I imagine you have, Steve has mentioned this, like he's met so many rappers through you and you're like so connected. So I imagine like a lot of it was you just sort of like calling people and be like, hey,
yeah.
And I, you see that in that series, like the right people are in this. Shout out to Mad Skills. Mad Skills is in this. I saw him in the comments. It's a great show. Yeah.
It was Mad Skills just talking about the nod factor the entire time.
It was amazing that you pared it down. Like, I think we talked beforehand. He just spoke about it for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
He just wouldn't stop talking about it. Shout out to DJ Nels. Be Real TV is in the house. All right, we're going to move on to the fourth question in this round, the final in this one. All right. KRS-One was featured on this dancehall artist's 1991 single, The Jam. Was it Beanie Man, Uju Banton, Cuddy Ranks, or Shabba Ranks?
That's a tough one because KRS always wanted to be Jamaican, although not being Jamaican.
He's got that Jamaican accent.
And 91 was all Shaba and Cuddy. Buju and Beanie were around, but Shaba was the king at the time. So I'm going to go with Shaba Ranks. There he is.
Shaba Ranks is correct. Shout out to the fake patois. The fake patois sort of is the underlying, it gets used a lot.
Well, it's funny for me because I grew up in Toronto and all my friends were very Jamaican. So
Right.
when we would hear KRS One talking, we'd be like, yo, what the fuck is he doing?
Right.
That's clearly not a Jamaican right there. Stand clear, Don Manawak.
There was a lot of focus on keeping it real, but there seems to be like a loophole, unless you want to do a Jamaican accent, in which case, run with it.
Well, that's why Snow was so successful with it, because Snow grew up in Toronto, and although being a very Irish guy, Darren O'Brien grew up with the real Jamaican guys and understood how to speak it properly.
So he sort of was adjacent, so perhaps he had some credibility or authenticity there that he was sort of able to...
Yes. As Fonzie would say, correctamundo.
He would say that, and shout out to you for pointing that out. All right, we're going to move on to the second round, Russell. You did quite well on the first one. The second round is a round that we call Picasso, baby.
Okay.
So in this round, what we're going to do is I'm going to show you a piece of an album cover, and you have to identify what the album is by what you see. So we're going to move into the first album cover. Here we go. What album cover is this?
Only built for Cuban links.
Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, I've never seen a man more confident about something in his life. That is absolutely correct. It is Only Built for Cuban Links by the chef, Raekwon. Favorite Wu-Tang album from that era? What is your favorite?
Wu-Tang or Wu-Tang member?
Like we'll count the all of the first run of like the first albums. Like
I think it would have to be either Enter the 36 Chambers, or Only Built, or Liquid Swords.
Tough choices. I mean, it's really, you can't really pick a wrong one there. Nobody's going to hop down your throat. Although I saw some people getting into it the other day. I forgot who it was, but saying that Tikal, it was Fonte Coleman was getting into it with somebody and saying that there's no way that Tikal belongs in that conversation.
See, Tikal was very popular because, and I always boil it down to looks, Method Man was the best looking guy in the group.
Yes. Yeah.
And
I mean, he had the pop appeal.
Yeah, he had the pop appeal, and he was doing acting, and the girls dug him, and he was cool. He wasn't like a good-looking guy where guys were like, yo, fuck that guy. They're like, yo, he is kind of, and he had the voice. But the album for me kind of was like, not what I wanted, not what I expected.
Right. Like
it was highly anticipated at the time, though.
Absolutely, and I think it did suffer. I think I believe that was like the flood or something that like RZA lost a lot of beats, and so he had to start over. So I think Tikal might have suffered for that as well. But all right, we're gonna move on to our second question in the round. What album cover is this? Is it Outkast, AT Clips, Lord Willin', Snoop Doggy Dogg's Doggy Style, or Organized Confusion, Stress, The Extinction Agenda?
I think that's Organized Confusion.
He's going with Organized Confusion. Let's see, folks. And he is correct. Organized Confusion is the album. Whew. You felt stressed there for a second. I felt
stressed. Remember, that was the big thing in that era, stress. Everybody was like, and I don't like stress. Stress, everything was stress. Stress this, stress that. Right.
It was the precursor to self-care, self-medication, like, rappers were just ahead of that, and they were talking about that. Yep. Pharomonch, definitely one of the more, I feel like he's super underrated. Who are your favorite MCs that are like you feel don't get their like just due? Like
AG from Show and AG, fucking incredible lyricist, metaphors out the ass, just an amazing. If you listen to anything, even if it's not one of his hit records or hit albums, you'll hear his lyrics and you go, damn, that shit is so layered. It's got layers like, Trayvon, I move bricks like Avon. You know what I mean? Like, but so you could be like moving Avon or Avon Barksdale. He's like says that kind of shit. It's like
multiple levels,
little levels to it. AG is one of the very most underrated cats in the game.
Word up. Let's move on to our final question in this round. Is it Ice-T's Pimp to Eat, Migos, Culture, Nav, Bad Habits, or Big Sean, Finally Famous?
I don't know any of the bottom three, so I'm gonna have to go with Big Sean because it doesn't look like anybody else I recognize.
He's going with that. It actually is Bad Habits. Are you up on a lot of newer hip hop?
No, not even a little bit.
Like even so as a DJ, because you kind of already have like people know what to expect from you. Like you're not having to pay or you're not having to play rather like a lot of like the you know.
Yeah, I don't play. I can't listen. If I'm not into it, I'm not playing it. It's always been my motto.
I mean, it's respectable. He is actually from Toronto.
Rexdale.
Yeah,
he's from Rexdale.
Okay, so he's on your radar.
He's a very Indian kid. His name's Nav. Yeah. It's probably Navdeep, Navinder, Navjot. It's one of those names.
Not a lot of Indians in hip hop, like on a major level, I would say, right?
You
like,
mean on the front lines?
On the front lines.
In the background.
Right. I mean, you had obviously Punjabi MC like had a moment, but you know, Death Racist.
By the way, let me tell you about that. When that record came out, that song came out in the early 90s.
Yeah.
That Beware of the Boys came out in the early 90s. And it didn't get popular until it got remade in the early 2000s.
Early 2000s. And then Jay hopped on it and it sort of had like a research.
Yeah, and that's what gave it a second life.
Shout out to Jay. It's The Rock. It's your boy. It's your boy. All right, we're going to move on to our third round.
Just keep me out of anything after fucking 2000. I won't know any answers.
Amazing. Good to know. We should have asked you first. All right, here we go. Our third round, rather, is digging in the crates. So this is all about samples. I'm going to ask you a question, play you a sample or a piece of music, and you'll have to answer a question about it. So let's move into the first question. I'll read you the question first. This group sampled the horn on Maynard Ferguson's El Dopa for their 1991 single. I'm going to play you that horn right now.
I feel like that's Poor Righteous Teachers, PRT.
He's saying PRT. And he is absolutely correct. Poor Righteous Teachers. PRT.
I'm a nerd for this shit.
What'd you say?
Now you're in my world.
Yes, we brought you back. We brought you back. All right,
you almost lost me with that other fucking Big Sean and other shit.
We have to mix it up, you know. Hip hop is it's a wide-reaching, you know, thing. Shout out to DJ Spider.
There's hip hop and now there's rap. It's very different.
Wow. All right. Shots
fired. Hip hop is cultural.
If you know, you know.
All right, we're gonna move on to our second question.
Because Mad Skills is in here, I really hope we get a nod factor question.
I could make one up on the fly. All right, this DJ did the cuts on Dilated People's seminal single. Where he says Babu. Do you want to hear it, or you're just going for Babu?
Let me hear it. Let me hear it.
Here we go.
Babu.
He says Babu. Russell, you know we have to try to stump you a little bit. It's actually DJ Revolution.
I was going to say it's Rev, but I was like, that sounds like Babu's cuts.
Yeah, it's definitely, I can see how you could make that, you know, choice, especially considering Babu's affiliation, obviously, in the group. But yeah, you know.
Rev, let me tell you something. I'm good friends with Rev, too. And I know, and you know Rev, right?
Yeah.
And you know Rev is the most serious guy in hip-hop. And I'll get those phone calls like, yeah, man, I'm just trying to keep it fucking hip-hop, man. You know, these fucking cats out here, man. They fucking ain't practicing, man. That's my Rev.
And you're like, I'm kind of at dinner right now. Can I call you back?
Yeah, man. I've been working on fucking both hands, man. I got so tired of cutting my left and started working on my right, man.
Serious. He's about that shit. All right, we're going to move on to the final question in this round, Russ.
I really hope the answer is nod factor.
We're working on it. Next game. Searching by Roy Ayers was first sampled by this artist. So I'm going to play you the Roy Ayers joint. Who did it first? Was it Pete Rock and CL Smooth, 8OG and the Bulldogs, Original Flavor, or Another Level?
I think it's 8OG and the Bulldogs.
All right, we're going to actually prove it out here. I'm going to be going in the order, opposite order. So 94 was the most recent of these uses when we had Pete Rock and CL Smooth. Same year, we had Another Level. This is the moment of truth here, Russ. Original flavor used it the year prior, so therefore the first person to use it was NOG and the Bulldog. Absolutely correct.
Aha! Donnie Ray Lewis, I see you.
Killing it. Very, very, very raucous chat here. A lot of people chiming in. A lot of DJs in the house, and we appreciate you guys' support. All right, so Russell, we are at our final round now.
All right.
You've done quite well so far. So what is going to happen here is I'm going to give you 3 options.
Okay.
These are going to be 3 categories that you're going to get to choose from, and you will have 90 seconds to answer 5 questions in one of these categories.
By the way, can we give a shout out to the Chief Rocker Busy Bee, who's in here right now?
Absolutely. Shout out to Busy Bee. Wow. Sir, we
Chief
should
Rocker.
have him on the show.
You should. Busy Bee. He's a dope dude. I'll get you in touch. Biz, you heard him. And DJ Grouch is in here.
DJ Grouch.
Joy. Lots of good people in here. Mary.
You bring the good people. All right, so here are your categories. You're going to pick one of these, and you'll have 90 seconds. Tonight's categories are hip-hop skits. The second category is the DJ in pop culture. And the third category is A Tribe Called Quest remixes and rarities. Which category do you want to go up for?
I'd like to do skits.
He's going with skits. All right. So, Russell, I'm going to explain this one more time because this gets a little intense. I have OC's time's up here, and it's timed to 90 seconds. So when the time is up is on OC, your time is up. If you don't know the answer, you can pass, and we'll come back to it.
Okay.
And if you want to, you can rely on the chat. The chat sometimes knows, but you only get one try on each question. So you can pass if you don't know. Does that make sense? Are we ready to go? All right, Russell Peters, 90 seconds on the clock. He's going for hip-hop skits. And our time starts now. This fictional character frequently appeared on Jay-Z's earlier albums, reenacting classic film scenes.
Oh, that was okay. I'm reloaded.
Yeah, what's his name?
Oh, pain in the ass.
Pain in the ass is correct. De La Soul's artificial intelligence Mosaic Thump features a series of skits advertising this fictional product.
Pass.
He's gonna pass. All right. Dr. Dre's The $20 Sack Pyramid skit on The Chronic takes pointed shots at this rival rapper.
Oh. Fuck me in the eye. I don't know.
All right, we're not going to fuck you in the eye, but we will pass. All right, The Roots' Things Fall Apart has a hidden track that kicks off with a conversation between Questlove and this member of the group.
The light-skinned guy who plays keys.
We'll take a pass on that. All right, on Big Pun's debut album, Capital Punishment, Pun features a pair of skits in which a crime takes place while they drive this specific vehicle. What kind of vehicle are they driving? Acura is correct. All right, let's go back to the ones you skipped. What fake product were De La Soul doing skits for on the Artificial Intelligence album?
I never really listened to that album as an album.
All right, that's fair. All right, who was Dr. Dre taking shots at in the $20 Sack Pyramid skit on The Chronic?
I want to say Eazy-E, but it can't because he was dead already.
It was not easy, and your time is up, sir. I'm going to tell you what you got wrong here. The De La Soul album skits, they were advertising a product called Ghost Weed, where if you smoke the weed, you would be able to rap. And Pharoah Monch and Phife Dawg and somebody else appears on there, and they basically do like ghost-ridden raps. The $20 Sack Pyramid on The Chronic was taking shots at Tim Dog. Yep. And the Roots album, Questlove is having a conversation with Scratch, the human beatbox guy.
Oh, the beatbox guy.
Yep. All right, so I'm going to total up your points here. You did an amazing job, Russell, and no matter what, you are a champion in our eyes.
Well, thanks.
If you guys have questions for Russell, drop them in that little question box. Russell, I'm going to total up your score here, but what I want to know from you is who is somebody that you think we should get on to the show next? We you know, Tony Baker challenged you, and then a day later we had you on the show. So I don't know if you heard directly Tony's cries or if that was incidental, but you know, the shout out here and the call out makes a big difference. So who's somebody that you would like to see come on the show?
Do you want somebody who's easy, or you want somebody who you're going to try and stump?
I mean, we want people that we're going to fucking try and stump.
Let me see. Who can we call out here? Who calls themselves hip hop out here?
Who calls themselves hip hop?
And needs to be checked on it.
We don't want to make anybody look bad, but you know, it's.
I mean, I kind of want to make people look bad.
Let's
call out, man. Let's call out Skills.
Skills has been on the show. Skills,
well, of course he has, because he had to promote the Nod Factor.
Yeah, it was in his contract. It was weird. He sent us a rider and everything. I was like,
yeah, he did. I honestly believe that Donnie Ray Lewis did send you this.
Who else other than Skills?
How about Busy B?
Busy B would be crazy. He's in the chat now. I mean, Busy, if you're
is.
still here, you should
Busy B is his name, and that's a fact, and you can't beat that with a stickball bat, man. He's better than bold, bolder than bad. The best MC life's ever had.
Yeah. Skills. Bismarck, yeah, Bismarck would be. Is Bismarck?
He would be
right
dope.
now?
You'd have to go real deep with Biz, because Biz knows a lot of stuff.
Biz's crates are like infinitely deep. Like I don't know. I'd be nervous. All right. So
how about this?
Good names.
Have you had Michael Rappaport?
We haven't had Michael Rappaport.
Michael Rappaport, or even Adam Richman, the Man vs. Food guy.
Oh yeah, he'd be good too. Yeah,
he's in here.
We have a lot of different people on the show. It's not just DJs. We've had comedians, actors, artists, you know, journalists, like anybody who like fucks with this, you know, this culture. Shout out Biz Marquee, man. Shout out DJ Equal, man. Biz, we would love to have
Grand Wizard Theodore's in here right now.
Grand Wizard Theodore, man. Adam Richmond. Listen, we got to hang out with Russell Peters more. You guys, you bring the cool kids to the table.
Jazzy Jeff's wife is in here, Lynette. Let me tell you something. Lynette is the sole reason that Jazzy Jeff is alive today, because she took care of him while he was sick during the COVID times.
And we are so grateful for that, and so happy that Jeff is pulling through, you know, and you know, heed Jeff's words, stay inside, guys. Like this is what
no,
we're
don't
doing
stay inside. That's how you get them pregnant.
All right, here's a good point. Figure out an alternate system that will prevent you from, you know, transmitting a disease or a virus, but also maybe wear a condom, or I don't know.
Condom? What are you, crazy?
I know, it's not very hip hop. I'm sorry.
Jesus. Hey, when you order a Big Mac, do you eat it with a wrapper on? No, fucker. You want the special sauce.
Fair enough. All right, Russell, you scored 11 out of 15 correct. That puts you in a very high tier. You're neck and neck with. Here's some of the guests that we've had who you're neck and neck with right now with that score: Mighty Mai, DJ Mr. C, J Live, Psalm One, Recognize. Dave Merhedge from the show Rami, and
you don't need to tell me who Dave is. He's from Toronto. I know him.
What am I doing? Wasting my breath right now. All right. If you guys have questions for Russell, do you have some time to just talk some hip hop shit for a little bit?
Yeah, Jazzy Jeff's in here right now.
Jazzy Jeff, we would love to have you on this show. This is
Jeff.
really
You're gonna have to really turn the pressure up on Jeff, because he knows too much.
Jeff, we would be honored to try to make you sweat. Pause. Maybe pause.
There you go.
All right.
And hey, what about Grand Wizard Theodore?
Grand Wizard Theodore is an architect.
He invented the scratch.
He invented the scratch. We wouldn't even ask him questions. I would just bow for 30 minutes. It'd be compelling television in the age of the Rona.
By the way, Jeffrey, did you get my email from last night?
All right, this is getting a little personal now, Russell. This could probably wait until
just text me back, Jeff.
If you guys have questions for Russell, drop them in there. A little housekeeping. Wednesday, we have our friend and artist NIKKI Jean on Rhyme Sayers. She's worked with Lupe Fiasco. She is a wonderful artist. She's the only artist who has worked with Lupe Fiasco, Bob Dylan, and Burt Bacharach in her career.
That's a pretty awesome group.
It's a pretty awesome combo. And then on Friday, we've got Cosmo Baker from The Rub from Philly. He's going to be joining us. Shout out to Cosmo.
Love Cosmo. It's his real name, too, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it like a Seinfeld Kramer thing?
His middle name is Kramer.
Unbelievable. Wow. The synchronicity is wild. Or his parents were huge Seinfeld fans and maybe.
Matter of fact, Synchronicity is his favorite Police album.
Absolutely. And fuck the police if you see him. NWA. I could do this rabbit hole with you all day, Russell, but we're going to get into the question. Yeah, let's do it. All right, here we go. Let's see. We have a question. Let's start with Steve Wonder, the architect of this tonight. Has Russell ever arm wrestled Muscle Simmons?
No, because Muscle Simmons, I feel like with his strength, he could tear my arm out of its socket.
Fair enough.
But I do have the distinct pleasure of saying that when Melly Mel knows that I'm coming to town, he'll tell me he's detoxing his liver for a few days so we could hang out because we get fucked up together.
Wow. All right. Respect.
And not to sound gay, but Melly Mel probably has the best ass in hip hop.
That doesn't sound gay at all, Russell.
I tell him all the time. He walks through, I go, Mel, you got a great ass.
But like you just totally walk away, like so you don't make it weird, and you just leave him with that discomfort.
Yeah, it's like this. Hey man, you got a great ass.
Yeah, I see nothing wrong with that at all. All right, Russell, we have a question from Mustafa GBM. What is your top hip hop group? The #1 group. These are tough questions.
#1 group is a difficult one, but I will say consistently, De La.
De La, yeah. Amazing, and still doing it. How's Dave doing? I know Dave was he was having some health issues, but
I'm expecting a call to hear about it.
All right, yeah, I saw that he posted that he was home, so shout out to Dave.
Yeah, he's not looking well though, but I do have, and ironically, the one I have is Dave's. This is Dave's. He gave that to me.
Woo! Come on,
and
amazing.
This is actually look. This is David plugged to Joli Coeur.
Very French.
He's Haitian.
Right. Oh, Haitian. Yeah, I see the connect. All right, let's see. We've got Adam asks, is paint your most famous bit, the bit that made you a global star? Can you answer that?
I don't think paint was it. Paint was part of the equation, but I think somebody gonna get hurt real bad was the most famous bit. Yeah,
but like with comedy, like bits themselves, it has to be part of a bigger piece. Like one bit isn't gonna like skyrocket you, or am I wrong? You think that bits can do that on their own? I mean, you have to have, it has to be like a composium of a bunch of different bits.
Yeah, it has to be part of the set.
Yeah, you're not getting.
But a good set, you could take a piece out and make it its own individual thing, and it could still live on its own. And when you put it back together, it makes even more sense.
Sure. Yeah. So it's not just about having a hot line. You need a hot song.
Exactly.
You know what I'm doing right there.
I'm out for presidents to represent me.
Hey, dead fucking ones. All right. Let's see. We have a question. What's Russell's favorite Tupac track?
I guess I Get Around.
So
I'm not a Tupac guy at all.
I was reading between the lines, Russell, and I could see by the way you sort of scrunched your eyes and turned your nose up that maybe Pac wasn't really hidden for you in T-Dot.
No, it didn't work for me.
He's not.
I did enjoy Pac as an actor, as
right.
an entertainer, as an iconic figure, but as an MC rapper, not for me.
You're a guy who values the pen, and he was more about the emotion than the pen.
Yeah, and I get that, and that's fine for people who want that. But I'm just a purist, and I want an MC.
Absolutely, I get you. All right, let's see. What's Russell's favorite Will Smith track?
Actually, it's that one. Jeff, what's the name of that song? Whatever the fuck that song was.
I need a little bit more. I don't have my.
I'll just go with Summertime.
All right, Summertime.
Summer Madness. Summertime.
Yeah. All right, let's see what else we got. What was the first piece of DJ equipment you ever bought? Asked DJ 210.
I had two Techniques SLB 200s and a realistic up and down mixer.
Oh, wonderful.
And I now understand why Qbert and all them guys have the hamster style, because if you connected your equipment wrong the first time, your fader went the wrong way. And that's why we have hamster style to this day. Amazing.
Steve Wonder was telling me a story that the first the first night that he met you, you were clowning somebody. Steve, who was it? You were clowning them for using
Revolution.
Tractor. Revolution. It was Revolution.
I was
That's
Revolution.
Right.
It was at his birthday.
Wow, you clowned the man at his birthday. You're
Yes.
like, wow.
I roasted him.
Purist. Russell Peters, comedian, actor, DJ, purist. Will clown you at your own birthday. Gives none
Correct.
of the fucks. Favorite Gangstar track, asks Rodneck.
Ooh, that's a tough one. There's so many.
Really tough.
So when I'm with my kids,
Sure.
and like I have, like my daughter say she has to go to the bathroom. She's like, Daddy, I got to go to the bathroom. I got to, like, if I had to carry her and get her there somewhere quick, even with my son who's 1, if I have to get him somewhere quick, I automatically do the question. That's question. No, that's not a question. That's yo, dude, get lost. You never have the skills like mine.
Fuck, why am I blanking right now? Well, why do you sing that?
Because I do this. Oh, coming for that ass. Hey, yo, Joey. And now you're mine. That's right. DJ Grouch had it. Now you're mine. I don't know, because it feels like it's got that. And then I start speeding it up while I'm doing it. As we're getting closer, go. It's just this thing that we do. So, now you're mine.
Got it. Speaking of ass, you know who has the best ass in hip hop?
Other than Melly Mel.
Other than Melly Mel. Well, no, I don't have anybody other than Melly Mel. All right, let's see what else we got here. Okay, so Foreign Juice asks, what newer artists are you currently listening to? Do you listen to anybody new? I mean, I know you said that you...
No, I mean, the newest album is R.A. the Rugged Man. It's
he just put out a new one. Yeah.
Great album. And Jazzy Jeff actually has a really dope track on there.
He does. And I believe
it's a really dope album.
Afro is on the track that...
Afro is on there. Ghostface is on there.
Yep.
There's a lot of good shit on there.
It seemed like a very 90s track list too, because it was very long. It was like, wow, there's a lot of songs on this too, but
they're all good.
They're all good, and that's
all good.
That's all Adam asks, ever have to censor or modify your sets when you play the Middle East, like Dubai?
No, I was asked to once by somebody who really didn't understand what was happening, and so they said they would turn the mic off on me the next night if I was to swear or talk about sex or whatever. And I was like,
you spoke it, like, yeah.
Yeah, I was doing it the night before. I was like, even like pretending to fuck on stage and that kind of shit. And because I don't give a shit. Like, if you're there to see me, you already know what you're coming to see.
Yep.
So the guy, the decency police, I believe they're called. The head of the decency police called my brother, who's my manager, and said, look, if he does this and this and this, we're going to turn the mic off on him. We've done it to Akon. And I'm like, first of all, don't fucking compare me to Akon. And then, so I said, yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm not changing my shit to appease some idiot who doesn't understand what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But so I told my brother, go tell him, fuck it, we're going to cancel, right? But right before my brother could call them, one of the royal family, the protocol from one of the royal families called my brother and was like, hey, one of the princes was at the show last night. He loved it, and he wants 15 tickets for some more of his cousins and brothers and sisters and what have you for tonight. And I said, so my brother called the guy back and goes, hey, we're going to have to cancel the show. No problem, sir. And he goes, however, you're going to have to call the royal family and tell them that we're canceling because of you. He goes, no, please continue. Do what you need to do. Fucking arbitrary, fucking bullshit. I don't play that stuff. So that's how you know laws are not real.
But damn.
Absolutely. All right, let's see what else we got. Shout out to Breakbeat Lou in the chat. Quimby9 asks, what's your favorite documentary on comedy?
I don't know that I've watched many documentaries on comedy, to be honest with you. I guess Richard Pryor's one was pretty dope.
Yeah.
What was it called? It just recently came out within the past 5 years. Omit the Logic. That's what it was called.
Okay.
It was a really dope documentary.
I remember, this is old, but I remember enjoying the comedian one that Seinfeld put out, like probably
that was
20 years
interesting.
ago. Yeah.
That was
has,
interesting,
like,
but self-serving.
Well, yeah, that's always the problem when, you know, the subject of the documentary produces the documentary.
And, like, you know who I really feel bad for in that documentary is Orny Adams.
Because he did not come off looking good.
Yeah, Orny looked like an asshole in it, and Orny's actually not like that. And I've worked with him, and he's actually a sweet guy, and he's actually a really good comic.
Do you think that he matured since that, or do you think that they just made him look bad intentionally?
I honestly think it really knocked him on his ass for a few years.
Right.
It kind of fucking hurt him a little bit, and it's kind of bullshit that had to happen to make another person look good.
Right.
You know, and I'm one of those people. It's like, I'm not gonna. If I say something bad about you, it makes me look worse than it makes you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know, underdog Jerry Seinfeld was just, you know, struggling to get on the life raft.
Forever the underdog.
Forever the underdog. Shout out to our guy Jay. All right. Let's see. How do you work during lockdown? Do you have online shows? What are you doing during lockdown right now, Russell?
Honestly, I'm trying to figure this out. I go live now and then. As you see, sometimes I get angry. Sometimes I just sit there and talk shit. A lot of times I get lucky enough to talk to like the legends of the game. You know, I've talked to Kid Capri. I've talked to Questlove. I've talked to I had Rick Fox on. I've had like all kinds of the strangest people. Like I like to just really switch it up to let people know that, you know, these are just real people. Everybody looks at celebrities like celebrities, and if you don't, especially when you don't know them, but if you know them, you realize they got literally the exact same problems you and I have.
And in this situation, literally the exact same problem.
The playing field is exactly the same for everybody right now.
Flatten the curve, flattening the playing field. What do you think? What do you think the future of? I mean, this is like probably a question that is annoying, and maybe you even asked this, but like, do you think that like comedy? What's going to happen with the clubs? Like once we sort of like get back to where we were?
I don't know. I got offered a gig in June, and they said the club's going to be at 30 to 50% capacity. We can only pay you this much, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to wait because I want to wait and see what happens with these shows. I want to make sure that I'm not part of the problem. I want to be part of the solution. So I'm going to wait and see if everything goes okay. Then eventually they'll open it up. I don't want to Just the Tip my career, even though my production company is called Just the Tip. I don't want to Just the Tip this shit. I want to be balls fucking deep in it. I want to change my Indian name. I'm going to give myself an Indian name. It's going to be balls deep.
Well, that's why you keep having these pregnancy issues that you were talking about. You're saying you're going to stay inside. You're doing the tip and the balls? Come on, bro.
Listen, I'm 50 years old. Ain't nothing coming out of there now.
Just dust.
When I come, it goes like this.
That might be that Rona. You might want to get that checked. All right. DJ Marquis asks, what's the first piece of wax that you bought, and what was the most recent that you bought?
I'll tell you the first doubles I bought.
Okay.
It's easier to tell you that. The first record I ever bought, with like real record, knowing that I'm buying a record, was in 1977, and it was Kiss Love Gun.
Amazing.
And I subsequently became the biggest Kiss fan ever, and still am, despite my hip hop love.
Gene Simmons, Peter Criss,
Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, of course, all of them.
All right.
But my first doubles that I bought, knowingly and willingly, were The Show.
Which we recently were reminded was produced or worked on by.
Yes, but I was shocked to find that out.
That was a bit of a shock.
Yeah.
And what's the most recent record that you bought? I mean, are you buying records really?
No, I mean literally the most recent record I bought was Estero.
Shout out to Estero. She's a friend of mine. Shout out to Estero.
Shout out to Jenny B. Englishman for putting this record out.
We should have her on the show too.
You should. She's dope. It's ill because it's like a 78 size record.
Yeah.
And
she, for those who don't know, she kind of gamed the system a little bit. She put a preview of her song on streaming and then cuts it off in the middle of it and says, "Hey, I don't really get paid much on streaming. If you want to support me, please buy the music from me." And so she basically uploaded a trailer or a teaser to her new song.
She's always been ahead of the curve, and she's always an innovator, and she's always dope, and she's from Toronto.
Yeah.
And I've known her forever, so
Baby steps.
I'm very happy to go and support her and buy her record.
Absolutely. All right, we have time for a few more. All right, Cosmo Baker, future guest on the show, Cosmo Baker asks, who is your Mount Rushmore of Canadian hip-hop acts?
Maestro Fresh West. Dream Warriors, How many people are on the Mount Rushmore?
Well, I guess in this situation, he's depicting some sort of fictional Canadian version. So I guess that would be up to you to decide.
Okay, let's cancel Dream Warriors.
Okay. Cancel.
Maestro
Cancel
Fresh
culture.
West. Nothing personal, Dream Warriors, but Maestro Fresh West, Socrates, Chaclair,
Yep.
and Cardinal.
Cardinal.
And I go
was-
with the old guys. It's not that Drake and Nav and what's his name? The guy that's very popular.
I need
Come
more.
Tory Lanez.
Oh, Tory Lanez. Yeah. Tory
See, to
Lanez.
me, that's a whole nother generation. So I got to pull from my generation.
Yeah, and I mean, look, if you're gonna put them out on a fucking mountain, you need a couple of years under your belt. Like, no
Yeah,
disrespect.
you know
to
what?
them.
And I left out Mishy Me, too.
What about Chaos? Does Chaos get the cred?
Chaos would have to go after them because he was after them.
Yeah. I'm just big into those Chaos records.
And even, somebody put Northern Touch in there. Who was that again? The Rascals. And I was on, interesting fact, I did the interludes on the Rascals album. Northern, what was it called? That album. That album that Northern Touch was on.
Let me see. I'm just
Dreaded
pulling up.
Fist, I think.
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head. Somebody asked, why does Russell do an online podcast show live? That would be dope as fuck.
I would. I mean, I do it on my lives now and then, but you know, I don't want to seem like one of those guys who just started a podcast because I was on lockdown. Although I had been thinking about it for many months or years even, I do it now just out of boredom.
Yeah, I mean, this is sort of the catalyst to do a lot of projects that we've had on the burner. All right, we have one more question that we're going to do. We're going to close this out. Actually, Steve Wonder, this is a good question. We're bringing him back in. What two rappers have you introduced that hit it off, or what celeb in a rapper? Like you are a guy who pairs a lot of people.
Here's two people you would never think that became friends because of me. Bumpy Knuckles and Roy Big Country Nelson, the UFC fighter.
Explain.
Bumpy and Roy met at my house.
Yeah.
Because I'm a fighter. I used to box.
Yeah.
And I do
put those things
jujitsu.
away. Put those things away.
I had to show you just real quick.
Yeah, no. Okay, please.
Right.
Right.
And I do jujitsu for the past 4 years. So
yeah.
I love combat sports. So I also love hip hop. And Bumpy to me is the epitome of hip hop and genuine. To me, Bumpy's like a genuine gangster in that he don't need a gun.
Right.
He will fuck you up on his own.
Yeah.
That to me is the sign of a gangster. I don't need a gun. I'll break your face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Bumpy and I are very close.
Yeah.
Roy Nelson and I are very close. They came together at my house. They both hit it off. And not to give away Bumpy's secrets, but when Bumpy got married earlier this year, I was best man, and Roy Nelson was there giving away Bumpy's bride.
Wow. All right. You heard it here first, maybe, or unless you've heard the story.
You literally heard it here first because nobody knew that shit.
Exclusive. Russell, I want to thank you again so much for coming on the show.
Thanks for making me come. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. Is there dust in the air? Is there a cough? There it is. That's the Russell you know and love. Yeah, we really appreciate it. We're all, we've had to pivot. We were not an online show. We've been doing shows in LA and around the country. And, we really appreciate you tuning in. And we hope to have you back. We have a lot of people.
Anytime.
Hey, anytime. You heard it here first.
Somebody cancels last minute, hit me up.
We could call you on the Russ line. All right.
Go for it.
Russell, be safe. Thank you so much.
And let me know when you're going to do an all Nod Factor episode because I really want to watch that one.
We have to get Skill's blessing for that.
Donnie Ray Lewis, can we do an all Nod Factor all day episode?
There's a lot of red tape. We'll work it out. Thanks again. We appreciate you. We'll see you real soon, Russell.
Salute, my people.
Peace.